Give me a minute and let's talk about some comments from Sergei Lavrov, winner of Moscow's Sexiest Man Alive 1937. He says that the West and not Ukraine will decide the conditions for ending the war. What is this guy talking about, huh? This is the problem with trying to deal with Russia. The West is responsible for this war. The West will end this, is the only one that can end the war. We are helpless pawns of the West, but we are the most feared fighting force and greatest nation on earth. There is this insane schizophrenia dealing with the Russians. It's just like with the Kremlin, the Tsar in the Kremlin, a person who must be loved and feared at the same time. The entire relationship of the government of the Russian Federation to its people and to the world is one of sadomasochism, to love and fear them. That is the essence of the slave and master relationship. It is an obscene psychopathy that right now threatens the stability of the entire world and needs to be taken to task. And the Ukrainians are doing a fine job. Lavrov said these other things. We do not see the slightest interest on the part of either the US or NATO to settle the Ukrainian conflict and listen to Russia's concerns. It is not, I have said it before and I will say it again for the people in the back of the room. No one can set the terms for Russian surrender except the Ukrainians. Kyiv's peace plan, which was covered at Davos, is the path to peace, to a lasting and strategic peace with security guarantees for Ukraine's further existence and safety from these insane people in the Kremlin who want to say that everything is the West's fault. Everything is the US. We are powerless to do anything, and no one listens to our concerns. Look, if they wanted this war over, all they have to do is go home. That's really all they have to do, and the fighting will stop. But no, their concerns trump all the concerns of everybody else. They're the only one whose concerns we need to listen to. He went on to accuse the West of goading Ukraine to use longer range weapons for strikes deep inside of Russia. There is no evidence of this. On the contrary, Western weapons are not to be used on the territory of Russia. And what we see instead are partisan and potentially rebel forces making strikes deep inside of Russia. He rejected the idea of nuclear talks until the U.S. abandons its support for Ukraine. So we can't talk about the issues that actually we can both do something about, our huge nuclear arsenals, until we have abandoned our allies and let these guys run rampant over the sovereign nation of Ukraine. This is my favorite line. The West must also stop undermining and not respecting Russia's interests, and accused us of hybrid warfare. This is from the guy whose government funds the Internet Research Agency, the troll farms that spread electronic Russian disinformation into all of our social media, poisoning our political dialogue and making way for the reign of Trump for 20 years. This is what they do. They accuse you of the crimes that they commit. And if you dare to point this out to them, they accuse you of not respecting their interests and concerns, while they trod on the interests and concerns of all their neighbors. Just ask the Chechens, just ask the Georgians, just ask the people in the Baltics, and of course, ask the people of Ukraine what it is like to deal with these psychopaths. The Russian Federation, this kind of insane, sadomasochistic relationship, the notion that you can treat people as objects, as commodities, as slaves, has consistently failed everywhere. And we are seeing the failure of this dictatorship writ large as Russia literally burns and freezes through its own failures and incompetence. There is nothing more dangerous in the world than a man who has nothing to lose. And the more these kleptocrats repress their own people, the more that they steal from them, leaving them with nothing, the less the people of Russia have to lose, and the more dangerous they become to their masters and betters in the Kremlin.